Salve galera ligada no canal da Dust 2 Brasil, Rock aqui para trazer para vocês uma entrevista com a Ana, recém-contratada pela Imperial, a maior jogadora de CS de todos os tempos no cenário feminino, 6 vezes campeã da Impact League, 2 vezes eleita a jogadora do ano pela HLTV. A gente falou sobre essa movimentação para a Imperial, essa inserção do time no cenário brasileiro e muito mais. Confere aí. So Anna, my first question is about Imperial, Anna. That's something that I don't think a lot of people expected to happen. Can you share with us how it was the negotiations, how long did it lasted, and how it comes to this end?
I mean, first of all, like I'm very grateful that it ended up signing with Imperial because it's like a very popular and a very big org in Brazil, and we knew them before, even before joining our ex organization. And about the negotiations, I don't really know exactly because our coach was mainly speaking with the bosses, with the CEOs of Imperial. I'm just gonna say like a funny story. It was in HLTV Awards in February. I remember we were meeting in the hotel reception with Junger, the player from Fluxo, and my teammate helped her out with something, like giving her like a vape or something, and through her we got contacts for different organization, and from her we finally got in contact at first with Imperial through my coach.
Oh, that
And since then, my coach were in talks with them. We were explaining our situation and that we want to represent a very important organization throughout our results and throughout our tournaments, and that's practically like a short story.
And I mean, it's been like 3 or 4 days since the announcement, and I expect that you see a lot of messages, a lot of new followers, a lot of activity from social media. How it has been dealing with the Brazilian fans in the past days?
I mean, I expected in a sense that I knew that it's gonna be like a positive aspect since my career, since I joined the Impact ESL Impact scene, and since I was playing in the Impact tournaments, I always got positive messages and like all the support from the Brazilian community. So for me, it was a huge step to represent one of their organizations, to wear their flag and go to tournaments and hopefully winning them. So it was like a big deal for me to go into the Brazilian scene. And obviously, like the fans, since we publicly announced, I just received a bunch of messages from them, wishing me good luck, making them very happy. Like I'm really grateful that even in the past, the Brazilian community supported me, and yeah, it's like it's amazing.
And Felipe gave us an interview regarding the sign and all that, and he said that you're gonna be here for some parts of the year. You're gonna practice here. You're gonna do some stuff in the Brazil. Are you excited to travel to the country and to meet the fans in a like proper meet the fans here?
I mean, it was my dream, not gonna lie, since my first edition in Dallas when we were, if I remember well, we were in final against Furia. Since then, like I got known into the Brazilian community, and everyone was asking me, "Where are you visiting Brazil?" Like even if I wasn't in a Brazilian team or something, they were asking me like, "Are you planning to go to Brazil on a trip?" And I was always like, since 2 years, I was always thinking about like just traveling to Brazil and see the culture and the food and the people. So for me, it's like one of the biggest gifts from the Imperial organization to have this chance to see the country, help the CS community, and do like creative stuff in their culture, in their country.
And it's fun when you say like that you had this thing after facing Fury, because here in Brazil, all the Enigma Galaxy are known for always beating the Brazilian teams. You beat Fury 2 times in the Impact League finals, but now you are on our side. Now you are representing a Brazilian organization. Does it feel different to have like all this rivalry in the server with the Brazilians, but now you are part of the scene?
Honestly, I was a bit scared of the people's reactions because I knew they always know about us, about me, about my teammates, that we had this rivalry with at first with Furia and recently with Fluxo. So I was a bit skeptic when I was expecting people's reactions. I was thinking that maybe they were not so happy about it, but I'm really happy that they gave us positive messages and emotions, and yeah, like to say it in a short way, it feels, for me, honestly, it feels good. It feels good because I know the CS community in Brazil is high. Everyone is passionate about it and they respect the players, so I'm happy that I'm in the Brazilian side now.
And like you say, the biggest part of the community is very happy, is very surprised in the first part, because nobody expected. There was like not even gossip, any leaks, nothing like that. So it was a really big surprise. And most of the replies, most of the comments about these transfers are pretty positive. But we have a part of the community, especially some players or some people tied to the women's competitions, that say that it's not good for the Brazilian scene, who has like a lot of orgless teams, a lot of teams that are competing without salaries, to see Imperial Brazilian org hiring foreign players, hiring your team. Did you saw this type of comments, and what do you think about them?
I mean, I'm not trying to think as much as possible on this like type of comments. Obviously, I respect everyone's opinion, and everyone is free to say their opinions, their like messages, and so on. Like, I'm not gonna judge them for it. I know that this is the first time, I think, at least in the female scene, that an international team joins a Brazilian organization. And like, to be honest with you, me as a player, I'm trying my best to represent the organization and win trophies, right? Like, if you are one of the best players and one of the best teams, obviously it shouldn't be a problem joining an organization. Like, from both of us, the players, and both of like the Imperial organization, they were happy about it, and they saw it as a opportunity to grow up the female scene, to have good results and so on. So for me personally, it wasn't I didn't see it as a negative aspect, but I was ready to see this like some comments like that.
Okay, perfect. Now I'll go for a more competitive side of things, because you had your first roster move in 2 years, I think, in the beginning of the year, with Zaz replacing Vilga in the move. I want to know two things about this transfer. First, how it has been to play under a different leadership. If I recall correctly, it's Story who's leading the team now, and also how it's
Yes.
to play with Zaz. Because when I look at the old Nigma core, it's like all the players, they look very you had, of course, a long history with Vilga and 23, playing with them for years, and now you have a very different person, a person from like even age, it's older than the other players. So how it has been to play with Zaz as such an experienced and such a legend to the Counter-Strike scene?
I mean, I'm gonna start first of all with Zaz, the move, the player move. I'm gonna start that I know Zaz since I started my career almost 8 years ago, so I knew her qualities and like her capability to improve on the server. So I took it as a positive aspect. I knew that she was capable of implementing into the team and perform with us. It was easy because at first it was easier because she had this experience, and it was easy to like do tactics and implement her in the structure of the team. And so far everything is going perfect in our way, and we have like nothing to complain. Like, I like about Zaz that she's very, very funny. She makes me laugh a lot of times, and she has like this good energy that surrounds the team. I like that the most about her. Yes, about Tori, at first I was surprised to see how much Tori worked since we actually did the move and replaced like some roles. At the beginning, it was kind of hard because Tori didn't have enough experience being a coach, and as well we did some changes throughout the players. Obviously, for me it was the easiest because I'm the opper, so for me it wasn't a lot of changes in terms of like the structure. But I was like really impressed of Tori because I feel that she's like very capable of like leading a team. She has like the perfect set, not only on the server but as a person. I think she has a good qualities of being a leader. She's like very open to listening to other players to create a tactic, and like I really like this about her in particular.
Perfect.
So
And
so far so good with the changes, with the new player and so on.
and then also you have this tournament. It's an important one. It's the season finals, but it's also the first big event this year. You hadn't been playing in lands since months now. Are you excited to go back to a land environment to be playing in the Impact Finals in Dallas once again?
Obviously, like for every player, I think their biggest dream is to go on the stage, right, and to be on the server in front of the crowd and fighting for a title. So for me, this is like the most hyped thing that you can ever do, and like the most important stuff is to end up with the trophy, right? To be the last one to unplug the keyboard, the mouse, and so on. Like for me, this is the best feeling ever. And obviously, like I'm very hyped up for the tournament itself. I think that we did a lot of work during this past months, especially with the changes that we had, with the changes in the CS as well, with the maps, with the updates and stuff. So I'm really happy. I'm really excited. I think we're gonna do a good show match against all the teams, and hopefully we can prove it again that we can win.
I mean, like you said, you are pretty good in being the last one to unplug your keyboard. There's been 6 events in ESL Impact, 6 wins. I mean, I think every time you probably got asked this question a million times, but every time you go there and every time you are back at the competition, do you feel this pressure? Like, because one day it will end. Like in the I don't think you're gonna win everything until the end of your career, but is there a pressure? Is there a fear that this feeling will end?
I mean, for me personally, I think having pressure is something human, is something natural, and I think everyone, not even in CS, but in sports in general, in like in day-to-day life, everyone has like a kind of pressure. Even myself, sometimes like in high tense rounds or important clutches and stuff, you have like this emotion that sometimes it can be good, sometimes can turn out to be bad. So obviously, like you said before, we won all of these tournaments and we showed good results. But I believe that if you want to be a champion, you cannot be like a champion with zero losses. Throughout my career, I didn't win everything. I went through losses as well. I went through tears, through all of this period in my life, in my CS career. But I know that through them you can learn, you can improve. I believe that every day you can be a better player. You can be a better like player individually and as a teammate. So every time when I lose, I gain something more. I believe that I will gain something more at the next tournament or at the next match.
And this first part of the season, you did very well, even individual or team wise in the Impact League, but you had 2 losses to the Navi Javelins in different tournaments. I think it was the Traded League and the European Pro League. Why do you think the team lost these 2 games? We know that the Javelins had been in a pretty good form last year, but they weren't able to beat the Enigma Galaxy before. Why they could beat the Pigeons this time?
I mean, I believe that. I mean, first of all, we know that they're a great team and they have like great players. They have this capability of winning the clutches and doing like showing a good CS. So we never underestimated them of being like bad at the game or something like that. We always went with the mind that okay, they're good, but we need to be better. And I believe that we lost these matches just because that we didn't play our best game that day. That we did like crucial mistakes economically wise, in terms of communication. It in that day I believe that it wasn't like our perfect day of CS, and they were better. Like this is like the short term of saying why we lost, and as well like it's hard for a team that is always winning or always playing with the same team like 10 times 14 times. We knew like at one time it will be probably that we're gonna lose, or we're gonna lose a match or a map. Like human wise it's expected to lose one time in like 20 times or 30 times during a year or something like that. So obviously it was a bit painful for us that we didn't win, but we took it with a good message, and hopefully we can repair these mistakes during Dallas.
You say that you learn a lot during losses. What did you learn specifically from these two times that you think it's going to be important in the Impact League?
First of all, in terms of communication, like to not show like emotions. Like sometimes when you are like in the tight games, like the emotions can get you, and the communication can go in a bad way, or because of the pressure you lose some clutches, or you don't listen to through the tactic, you forget some nades that they're important. Most of them like they are individual mistakes. I think that it wasn't like a team mistake overall. I think it was based on maybe the pressure, maybe not having a good day, or not having a bad like like a good individual performance. So I took it as a message. I took it as a lesson to improve more, to help my teammates more with my comms, with my plays, post plans, stuff like this.
Do you think that losses like this, they are important for the team because they are, of course, it's always bad to lose, but it was online tournaments. Now you have the big one. You already showed in the group stage that the team still the best female team. Do you think it was important for maybe just turning a yellow light or something, saying like we have to pay attention on things like communication and all?
Yes, obviously. For me, I think I said it before, but for me, it's way harder to stay at the top than to go on the top. So always, I'm thinking like this, that I need to work 10 times more and to improve 10 times more for my team. I think it was like you said, like a warning, or not a warning, but like an alert that okay, we need to work on this stuff so we can not have like these problems on the biggest event on Dallas. So yeah, it was something important to happen. I believe everything is with a reason. So I think this reason was meant to be for Dallas.
Besides then, do you have any other teams that you think that like caught your attention during the season? We had, of course, Fluxo in South America. We have 8SG, a lot of teams that you already know, but there's also some new teams coming up. Who do you think it's gonna give Imperial a hard time in this Impact League?
I mean, I believe that everyone who qualified to the tournament is capable of winning the tournament itself. So I never underestimate each team who I faced, especially on LAN. I think that every team is capable, or it has a style of their own to give us like problems maybe during the tournament. So there are gonna be derbies. There are gonna be like very high tense matches. For example, Imperial versus Fluxo. Maybe like it's gonna be like a very important game, maybe for the Brazilian scene if we end up going into the semifinals or even finals. So yeah, I'm like very hyped. I'm very hyped to play the matches, show a good CS against the best teams in North America, South America, and Europe. So yeah, I'm very confident about it.
And we know that sometimes you don't have to face Valve. Besides the all the teams that you face, we have a pretty big change last week in CS. We have basically new economic system for city side. We have the new Molotovs. We have changes in Vertigo. 2 months not even 2 months ago, we had Dust 2 in the map pool, so it's gonna be a pretty different game from the group stage to the finals. How did the team adapt to these changes? Did you have time to study the new things that are gonna coming up in the final?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I saw like at the first second when they posted and then they announced the changes, I was like insta right on the server just to check and like to adapt as fast as possible because theoretically, if we look at the calendar, it wasn't like a long term to train or to get used to the big changes because I believe that they are like crucial. Like you said, economically wise, they changed the Molotov and especially like if we consider on maps like Inferno and Banana or other maps like Ancient, that Molotov was crucial on some parts of the map. So we need like in this short term, I believe that we adapted on it. We checked everything possible on the servers. Me personally, didn't affect me personally because I'm the opper and not. It's more about the anchors, the people who hold the sites and stuff, but I think that we are prepared. We checked on Vertigo the changes, and I think the last couple of days we did a good job on it.
And you said before that playing CS online is different, and we have a lot of helpers speaking. And how different is the AWP when we're playing online? For you, the best helper in the world, is there something that changed much because you had the tournament in the last season final? It was on CS2 already. Now you're gonna play on it again. It is really different from playing online and playing the AWP online.
I think so. I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's because you have like zero ping, you have like really good ping, and I think that it's the reaction is better maybe, or uh, the reaction time when you shoot, or like the players how they move. Maybe it's just because of that, but I agree with the community or the players who played online. I think it's like a slight difference in terms of like getting these hits, important hits or flicks, or like in general being like as an opera. I think it's a bit different, but in a good way. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's better. I believe it's better on land than online with op, especially.
I mean, since we're speaking about the op and speaking about the game itself, I think it's always hard to compare players from different times. Like a player from 10 years ago is totally different from a players from today, even the CS version different. But I think it's kind of a consensus. We can call you the greatest of all time in the female scene. And I want to know if you agree with this. Like, how do you feel being the best woman who ever played CS?
I mean, personally, when you said this stuff, for me, personally, I don't take it that yes, I'm the best or something. Like I'm very humble, and all the female players and all the people that know me, they know I'm humble, and I don't say it on like loudly to the people that yes, you are not good and I'm the best. So I'm really grateful that you said this to me. It means a lot. It means a lot, especially when you work for like a lot of years and you try to be the best for the team. For me personally, I always think more about the team than my performance. I prefer to win a trophy than to be the best. So it means a lot to me, especially coming from the persons, from the people, from the public.
I mean, you've been doing a great job in these two things, being the best and being in the best team, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's true, and I'm really, I don't know, grateful for this. I don't know. It's I feel like all the work paid off eventually. Like I wasn't on this shape or having these titles at the beginning. I started when I was 15 years old, and now I'm 24. So it took some years to step up and to lift trophies and to get all these appreciations from people. But I think it's definitely worth it. I mean, obviously, it was a pleasure from my side, and I just want to say thank you, first of all, to the Brazilian community for embracing me into their CS scene. I want to say, as well, thank you to Imperial, all the staff, the Gamden, and everyone who supported me during my career. it's been a blast, and I'm really happy to be a part of their family, like this family. I don't know to explain it. Yes, I don't know Portuguese yet, but I hope that during my time with Imperial, I'll improve my Portuguese. But I just want to say muito obrigado. Yeah, I hope I can make people proud of my results and stuff.